They picked up a pretty good roster when it came to Thailand, so it's not out of the question that they would do well. I'd like to see Pirate Team actually go. ECO has had a very consistent performance over the last couple of weeks. They actually had 2 wins last week. So, again, I would have to put my bets onto ECO, but anything can happen. It is ROS, but we're, of course, going to go ahead, load on into Gili Island.
And already we're flying in from the north to the south right across. So we've already got a few teams dropping across.
So this is pretty much what you expect. Pirate Team, usually team number 1 when it comes into our lobby. They're going to go ahead straight up to Observatory. This is a pretty common thing, though. It looks like that is Dark Frost that are looking to take this approach. This is a thing that one of the Thai teams used to always do to Pirate Team was actually loot on the outside of Observatory. So if Pirate Team actually didn't get enough loot, they would try and go north, but then they would be running into these squads. It's a little bit risky because Pirate Team, they are a very confident squad. I don't think they're someone you should be challenging all the time, but we'll have to see how it pans out.
Yeah, it looks like we're going to see potentially a little bit of action around logging camp, though already around the lake. Looks like we can see a few people running out and trying to get in some early action. As everyone's just looking for some early loot, try to find that preferred loadout.
Yeah. We still got some teams going possibly all the way down to Squirrel Depot, so this is pretty much of a long drop. Of course, we'll have to see what the first circle is. Some shots, though, coming on out here on your left side of your screen. You can hear those coming in, and that is actually a down coming on through. We're going north with the circle, though, ladies and gentlemen, so these teams are going to have to make their way on up, but already 2 downs.
Yeah, favoring that Observatory, favoring that Chemical Depot, but already it looks like Seal Gaming and Pirate King are making their way for Research Edifice and that Squirrel Depot you mentioned. They're going to have to put some work in if they want to get back into that circle later on.
And you heard those shots coming on through. AROV, these are one of those teams that if you're going to try and contest them, they do not care. They will go. Fate, actually, this is usually a team that we see mid-strat. They're going to actually pick up some kills there onto your feed. Mr. Lonely is going to get the knockdown in response. Fate and them going to be trading back. Mr. Lonely, he might be feeling a little lonely because he's out in the middle of nowhere running with his fists.
He's just hopping. Let's see if he can make it to the building, and he can't. Man
nice
down.
shot, actually, Nico with the Car 98. So that's something we don't often see on the mobile is the sniper shots. Usually on PC, it's a little bit more common, but especially here in Thailand and in Vietnam, there's actually some really skilled sniper players.
And getting that accuracy is so very important in order to track people down. Of course, later on, you can try to find weapons that effectively don't need accuracy,
no,
like
you
that
just
grenade crossbow.
Yeah, the grenade crossbow. We'll get to that once we see it because much like I know Matt would agree with me on this, we talk about it, I think, a little bit too much. Joel, though, he's got no chill as he's just going
down.
Man, it has to feel bad getting killed by a squishy hammer like that. It's a balloon hammer.
And you got to wonder, what is it that you're down so bad that a guy walks up to you with a squishy hammer and then he can beat you to death?
You know. Well, gunshots, like gun wounds are pretty lethal
Oh, absolutely.
themselves. So, like, maybe just an extra tick on the head.
But so incapacitated that you can't stop a little squeaky hammer? Because I imagine that hammer squeaks.
Well, you know, it is one of the things that you can get for linking up your Facebook account here. So
there you go.
Yeah, there you go. Actually, I think it replaces, I forget what it actually covers up on the cosmetic. Maybe it's like armor plated on the ends. Maybe.
Very well could be, yeah. Already looks like we can see a few folks hopping around as everyone's just looking for their preferred loadouts all around the map. We're only 3 minutes in with 4 members dead, so not a huge amount of points still being claimed by any of these teams. And again, we're still looking for that first zone to narrow in, and even then, not expecting a lot of action to come of it because that zone does so little damage.
Yeah, Blue Zone does pretty much nothing for the first 15 minutes of the game. So, and I know that's something that we are trying to actively encourage, maybe a possible buff to try and encourage some early action. Fury Roads looking to be a little Mad Max here with their trucks.
Are we about to see some ramping over the hill? Because I really hope we get to see some action as they're just chasing around but decide to give up as Roger makes his way out.
Yeah. Again, the thing that we always question here is why go for the early skirmishes? If you lose a member but you get a couple kills, sure, that's great, but then you lose that member. Then you're not going to have that for the final circle later on. So again, this is what we now expect these teams to do. They're not going to be looking to go for fights. They'll maybe take a shot or two if they see the opportunity, but honestly, welcome to see regional clashes. Usually we don't see fights until around that 13 to 15-minute mark.
And as everyone is just driving around, making his way back on over to MEU just to catch up and collect with the team. Looks like they've got 2 cars so far, and as we take a look at the map, it appears as though Dark Frost and AROV might be getting into a bit of a skirmish towards the middle there, but
we'll see ECO take these shots, actually. This is a team that's known to do this. Going to actually try and go toe-to-toe here with Fury Roads. Goes off the building. Luckily, there's not a whole lot of fall damage to deal with. Just has had some good shots in the past. I don't think Fury Roads actually stopped. I think they went on. Yeah,
Like
they're
you
driving
said,
off.
Better not to risk it this early on.
They're actually
Actually, they're looping back around to the high ground. They might be trying to keep Just pinned down in this building. It doesn't appear that he has a lot of allies nearby, so...
But the thing is, for Fury Roads, they don't know who's in this building. They might know that Just is at least one person, but there could be a grenade launcher here.
Yeah.
And if they drive that truck a little too close, they're done. And they already have 2 members at the top, so they're staying split. Again, they're just likely scouting this out. I'd be shocked if Just actually tries to do anything, and yeah, you can see they're going to actually go way off. They don't want to deal with ECO.
Yeah, finally deciding to split off. ETO, you gets a pass this time, but only Just.
Yeah, actually rides in them. So ECO were the ones that actually did the outside strategy onto Pirate Team, which is really gutsy. These are 2 of our considered most powerful teams when it comes into just player skill. So having them up near the top side of the map this early, might see that skirmish, and that would be a pretty heavy hit, because especially Pirate Team, they really need to start stepping it up. The last couple of weeks, they haven't had good performances. They've had mid-tier performances, and that's not what we expected from Pirate Team. I know oftentimes our colors and our analysts here like to hype them up. I haven't seen it yet, so I want to start seeing this this history that I've been told about here.
Are they on the high ground all the way over? Or are they just on the other side of that building? I can't quite tell the depth of distance.
They know. Okay.
Yeah, there we go. It looks like they're up on the building here.
Fury Roads keeps running into squads. They don't really have a home right now, and I think it's driving them crazy.
Raptor and Wolf are keeping their eye on that crate from the high ground, but like you said, it doesn't look like they're able to get any kills or any harasses. They're just scouting the area around right now, as Ezio will end up bolting.
And we're going to have our play zone coming in here quite shortly. As you can see, it is going to start closing on. It is going north. We'll have to see whether or not we get ourselves a coastal finish. That's actually been a common thing the last week or two, where squads don't really know how to play on the coast. It's actually extremely chaotic once we get a coastal finish, because usually teams will just drive their vehicles and everyone's got grenades by then. So it's like going into a war zone as you try and get on to the beach and then try and hide behind the corpse of your building. You know, it's just a little... They're taking a shot or two.
They're taking some pot shots here. Can they bring down any of the vehicles? That's one down, but no members have been dropped just yet. Fnatic starting to push forward.
Yeah. Taking shots from Flux there, it is an okay decision. Trucks did get massively nerfed about a month ago, but it does take more than just one gun to actually do enough damage to take one down really fast. You need the whole squad actually directing all their fire onto it. So, again, Fnatic, maybe they didn't know exactly who they were dealing with. They saw a full squad there. Unless you got the grenades, it's easy to take it on down. Fire Rose here. Jadah's actually had some good games the last couple of weeks. This is Fury Road's sister team, actually, so we might actually see a clash here between the family if Jadah decides to. He says, nope, I'm going back.
Yeah, Fury Roads and Fire Roads are actually in the same area just about. Thinking about meeting up, but instead it's just Fury Road peeking down from the high ground onto the sister team. Do they extend that familial benefit of, you know what, we're sister teams, let's not fight now, let's wait until later?
You don't know where they are. You don't know who you're shooting at.
Exactly.
They don't get the nameplates like we do, and you see H.E. there actually taking some shots onto Fire Rose. Loki does have a position onto him, so he's got to be careful, can't stay out too long, decides to go back into the cabin.
Just maintaining that safe cover. Still 56 members alive 9 minutes into the game. It's all about survival. It's all about lasting to those top 3, top 4 finishes. And Bin, you can see, has already got 1 kill to his name, but still looking for a few more. But I'm not quite sure he's going to be able to find anyone, just constantly peeking up on that hill as we now enter play zone 2.
Yeah, we're here with War of Elite. They're trying to make their way down into this compound. Seal's already here. They're actually lucky they're not being shot up right now from that balcony. Luckily, they got themselves behind the building. They do know something's here. Yeah, you can see the direction directly onto Seal. So War of Elite looks like they might go for a skirmish here.
They're thinking about pushing forward, but for now, we've got Roll just acting as scout, making sure that he can see everyone inside of the building. And Anep is starting to peek forward.
So pretty much this fight here is going to decide which one of these teams likely will go for a mid strat. They're already 1,200 meters outside the zone. I didn't see a vehicle from Seal yet, and they've been both likely looting. Meanwhile, Mackie 4. Oh my goodness, that is why you don't drive in the middle of nowhere as Fate gets squad wiped by a single crossbow grenade.
Yeah, that's a whole team wipe right there. But Seal, they've maneuvered to the next building over. End is now separated from his team. They're starting to push out into the open. Will Rull start to open fire? Grenade is ready, primed and set.
They actually need to throw it, though. Seal have some time to think for themselves. See some knocks coming on there from Small Boy in your feed. That's actually ECO losing some members, already 2 down. They do trade one on back. We're still seeing whether or not, though, War of Elite actually wants to try and go for this fight against Seal.
Seal still just sitting inside of the building. End is starting to push forward. He does not know where Rull and Anep are.
See if they catch off End here. This is pretty bad for Seal. Likely at that point, you'll likely see Seal just go ahead and try and evade this fight. But now they know Anep and them have shown themselves. That firecracker went off. Now End saying, hey guys, I think we got a problem.
Just a good old-fashioned standoff, eye to eye, toe to toe. Who steps first? Looks like Anep and Rull starting to push forward. Seal spots them pushing into the building. End has got to know this is coming, but he's still 1 versus 2 in that house.
Yeah, Seal start to rotate on over, though. There is the opportunity in Nep, and them still making their way up and toward the building, and can hear them at this point. So now he knows Nep trying to go through the balcony, and gets the down, though. Is he able to get both? Unfortunately, Rule is underneath them. They're going to trade 1 for 1, but here comes the rest of Seal.
Yeah, Seal pushing the house right quick with the rest of the squad to clean this up. Rull doesn't stand a chance, gets absolutely blasted. And now, Rull and the rest of the team, they're 2-man down. Are they going to continue to try and fight this 2v3?
Honestly, if you're the last of 2 members of War of Elite, you're trying to get out of there, but instead they want to try and keep the fight coming back, but Seal just guns them down in the doorway. It's only the lone member, and it won't be enough. Anep will fall on down, and the rest of the team goes with him.
And that is the tragedy of trying to take the negative fight. It seems they thought they had the better positioning. Scouting out, spotting Seal, seeing them split up on the other side of the building, but all it took was the crucial 1v2 clutch to trade 1 for 1 before the rest of the Seal squad came in for the cleanup.
As we see here on our map, our next play zone is present, so we're going a little bit inland, still north, around the observatory. So, you know, Pirate Team, speaking of Pirate Team, actually, they've made their way all the way down to the training base. They decided, hey, we don't really need to stay up by observatory anymore. Get themselves hunkered down into toward the circle, then they don't have to move too much. Because that's often what we see, especially from teams like Number 1. We actually haven't seen them just yet. Number 1, I mean, me and Fish, we like to describe them as the team that can run 10 times faster than anybody else in a race until the last 10 meters.
Yeah.
And then they crawl. They cannot transition. And speaking of Number 1, there they are. So they've already made themselves known here with
Fnatic just taking some pot shots, trying to get a little bit of damage here and there. Maybe they can get a building down as they're starting to loop around. That's double chicken nade. There's nobody in that house, but I like their enthusiasm. I like, just in case there were somebody in the house, double chicken nade.
You never know. You gotta be careful, especially when you're going in blind. And that's, I'll be frank, that's a lot of our top 5s recently. Is when teams just randomly shoot a chicken grenade off the crossbow, and then boom, they get a squad wipe, as they were lucky enough to actually find a house with a team on in it.
Yeah.
This is something we actually see Number 1 do, and a couple of our Vietnam teams actually. They like to get on top of the roofs of buildings like this and just scout out the horizon. Because what you can do then is you can go on prone, and then you're hidden behind the little divot in the top of the house there, but you can still see the horizon because you are in third person.
And that's exactly what we saw from WOE just a little bit earlier when they were scouting out at Seal. But already we could see a few squads starting to sit outside. Fate is all grouped up outside of the zone. Same thing that we're seeing from Pirate King. And also Seal Gaming, still very close to Pirate King, whereas it looks like everyone else is starting to try and head towards the inside of that zone. But currently, Pirate Team, they're still on top of the hill on Observatory. They've got the high ground for now.
Yeah, we saw that next play zone as we close in on to play zone 3 there. So Pirate Team, they're going to be feeling pretty comfortable. They do, though, have to be a little worried. They are kind of hugging one side of the circle, so maybe they get lucky with that RNG on the next circle, and then they can just...
I mean, it's happened to everybody at some point or other where
when you play any kind of
the
battle
zone just
royale,
closes perfectly in onto you, and you don't need to move the entire time.
Yeah, especially when you choose a really like a dumb location, like the middle of a field.
Yeah,
I've had that happen a couple times in a couple battle royales, and I'm like, I do not deserve to win this game.
And sometimes it backfires because then
Yeah.
you have other squads that are coming in
They're
with
like,
full
"Hey."
loadouts, full loot, and you're just in the one hut that has a single pistol. And yeah. Not that you should play that way.
Hey, if it works, it works. You can't argue with results.
Sure.
My favorite experience is I got a care package and I was able to get an M249. We'll talk about here in a sec. As ooh, that truck is on fire, and that is why
down.
you don't stay in the trucks for this long. Lion and team get taken on down. That's number 1 actually getting 3 knocks. They have not actually finished off the kills, but they do know that someone's gonna have to come back on over here and actually pick up this squad. Honestly, the KISS needs to start pushing on into this. There's 3 members down there. They're all dead. You might as well just go down and finish them.
Just a matter of time. He's trying to check out where that 4th member
they
is,
don't
though.
know.
Is there one person with another car who was lagging behind? Maybe he's in a building up ahead just waiting with the car.
Yeah, well, that's good for number 1, actually. If they're able to pick up all 3 of those kills, that's going to help them out a little bit on the points, and then they can start, again, getting themselves a little bit. So Nemesis finally going to start taking the shots.
Clean it up. Yeah, Lion, he's trying to make his way up the hill.
Well, Fire Rose is also... Furiodes and Fire Rose have been staying pretty close together without realizing it, I think.
Turns out they've been circling around each other. Maybe those scrim blocks just showing a little bit too much how the coaches think alike.
It's like when you both get into the same solo queue match there.
And you both hover the same champion.
And you're both... Well, no, not even that. Like, even when you're playing ranked here in ROS, sometimes you get loaded on into the same lobby, and you're like, come on, guys, I just wanted to practice. Stop stealing my strats.
Exactly. Yeah. Not going to see that this time, though, as currently Bin and the rest of the squad still sitting on top of the high ground by training base and just maintaining that time. We're still only about 10 minutes out before we get to that final zone, the final spike of conflict, as there are still 40 members on the map. But we're starting to see things pick up just a bit. Yeah,
40 members at 16 minutes. It's not out of the question. This is something we usually see a little bit more, but it seems like squads have been not respecting one another with the vehicles, so we'll see whether or not that changes up here. And again, it is the first map of the night. Teams are getting warmed up. They want to try be a little bit more aggressive, possibly. They want to try out maybe a new strat they practiced during the week. If it doesn't work, hey, we go back to our normal strat. Don't even have to worry about it. We'll see here. Usually once we hit that 20-minute mark, that's when we start seeing the big chaotic fight, the big skirmish between about 5 to 7 teams, because everyone's going to be closing on into that circle because they want that first place slot.
And still 2/3 of the teams players left at 41. I'm thinking by the time we do get to that fight, it's going to be nice and bloody with a lot of the action quick and fast.
Well, this is a little awkward because if you look at where this circle is, it's out in toward the mountains by observatory. So there's a lot of hills here, and then there's a couple of flat areas along the coastline. So teams will likely see a lot of action right south of Pirate Team because we're going to have a couple teams close on in, as we're going to see. And once we see this final play zone, which will pop up here on the screen at any possible moment, we'll see whether or not what we're going to see. I do believe that is this.
Right on the side of the hill.
So this is a little bit of a mix here. You got about a couple flat areas that surround one big hill in the middle. So we'll likely see Pirate Team just squish their way on into the left there, but down toward that south, we're going to see a lot of fights.
And you've got to wonder how that benefits Gao Team, Team 8, right there in the middle of the zone. Do they step up onto the hill and try to take that high ground? Because that's where everybody's going to be looking as the zone starts to narrow down.
Yeah, I'll have to double check if that Scout Team. Again, usually teams sometimes don't always go in the right slot, because I think I saw Gao Team earlier, but we'll have to see, of course. As Seal finally making this. So this was actually Team 14 on the map, Seal, making their way on up. I thought they would go for a med strat. Instead, it looks like they want to try and contest for this circle. Maybe they didn't get enough meds because they are down to already 3 members, so their looting was slowed down just a little bit there. And they had that fight with War of Lead, and that slows down. That was 2 minutes they couldn't loot for meds.
They're starting to make their way up towards the zone, riding the top of this ridge here. They don't see anyone nearby.
It is risky to stop in the middle of nowhere with a truck that is half health of what it used to be.
But still, it looks like they're holding their ground as RTV starting to move forward. Rack's looking to get on the high ground as Pirate on the other side. Still sitting nice and comfy.
Yeah, Pirate's going to be still comfortable. They only have to shift a little bit toward the west. This is Road to Victory, one of our general teams, so they're a little bit of a mixed bag. still making their way on over. Roger is just scouting out the horizon. So he actually gives us a good view of this circle as he looked around there. It kind of just slopes on down toward the coastline. So teams, what are they going to be able to do? They're going to try and contest that high ground, or they're going to try and get themselves into a complex. But honestly, I didn't see many buildings on the map there, so there's not a whole lot of cover to even work with.
That just means the kills are going to be coming that much quicker as soon as we get around.
Yeah, that means we're going to see a lot of vehicles, because a lot of people are just going to start crashing the center of the zone and hoping that they can get the cover before everybody else. But here we go. You see Dark Frost. They're going up here into Road to Victory.
They're going right between two squads.
This is ugly, because now you also have Pirate Team. They're just going to get lit up from the side. They try to go for the ram. It's not going to connect there. And they do get that vehicle out of dodge. Seal, though, still taking shots here as Gao is now actually here at the party.
Oh, boy, that was close. Somehow, Seal's vehicle manages to hold on. I'm fairly certain that truck only had one wheel left.
I'm actually shocked here. We haven't seen that many crossbow launchers, which is actually rare. By now, we've usually seen a couple shots come here and there, but I haven't seen anybody willing to take shots just yet. Again, I think they're wanting to save up the grenades, save the chicken grenades as long as possible. Firecracker coming on in here, so Seal are spotted out, and they have taken a decent chunk of damage. That was actually, Jada is actually able to take down a member there, and Fury Roads are losing members. This is a trade now between the sister teams.
Yeah, KY trying to bring down Valentine as he's just taking pot shots to keep Pirate locked into this building. And not quite able to find anyone. So we do have some kills on the other side. Seal is going down.
Fury Roads was just able to turn that onto Fire Rose there. So the sister teams are battling it out. I think Fury Roads are now with the member advantage, and Zeus got taken on down to the safe zone. So Fire Rose, they don't have a lot of opportunities here. Fnatic also have to deal with this Seal here. Now onto a new truck, but it was already lit up. Why would you get into that is the question. And like we mentioned, it's 21 minutes on the clock. Teams are fighting here and there. They're crashing into the zone. Pirate team are going to be able to get the knockdown on K-Rax, and another one's going to fall here, and you just see that kill feed, Dom, just keep on going. We just lost 20 members in the last minute.
Yeah, 13 members down from that 42 that we were just at, and now it's down to 28. It just keeps on ticking down and down as we're getting down to that final zone, play zone 6 and play zone 7. 21 and a half minutes in. Law Pro, he's trying to hold on with the rest of the squad, but Fnatic already looking to push the house.
This is a nice location, though, for Arov, because they do have, I believe this is a 3-story, so they can actually sit themselves into this very safe second-story staircase well, because there is no open windows, there's no opportunities except from above and below. And usually teams can't actually boost themselves to that top floor, so they have to come in through the bottom floor. And the only thing you got to worry about then is usually grenades. And Valentine, one's behind you, you're going to get knocked down.
That's the good old firecracker behind you. I remember those 4th of July days. Never drop a firecracker at your feet. As Rayong and the rest of Pirate Squad, they're trying to survive, but they have been absolutely scattered to the winds.
Yes, Pirate Team, this is usually their problem when it comes into this transition play zone into the final zone later on into the game. That 22-minute mark, it seems to kill them often. Valentine, she's a really good player, but unfortunately, she got caught out behind the cover and she couldn't do anything. Roger's trying to get some revenge here onto number 1. Gao is also toward the side as they're looking to get picked off here by Arov. Nice pickup coming in through the kiss. Jackie's going to trade on back as they get taken on down toward the play zone. So Pirate Team down to 2 members.
And still they're managing to hold on. Remember, 25 players left as Gao. They're still taking some damage all the way outside of the zone. That truck is going to start burning down. Do they have enough meds to hot swap over to a med strat and try to outlast, or will they try to push this building in the center of this play zone?
Again, it's a really awkward situation now that you have to do, because you can see Arov have now locked down that vehicle. If anyone jumps into that, they're going to light it up, destroy it instantly. That circle's now coming on in. This is, of course, play zone 5, play zone 6 coming up, so this does start to hurt. And you can see Gao is now also into a fight with number 1 from long range. They're taking hits from both bullets and the zone itself, and it's about to do double the damage as we now start centering onto 6.
Yeah, moving up into the zone. This is not good terrain for Gao as they're trying to hug the trees, but Iron Pro is just sitting and waiting. So too is Nemesis and Just Arm on top of the hill. There's the fire, and Gao loses a man.
Denzi going to get taken on down here. 20 players remaining here as we get into play zone 6. Number 1, though, taking some shots here from the side of Fury Rose. This is H-E that's actually been able to survive. The team has been taking a lot of shots. That will be enough to take him on down as Flux has been able to spot them out. The Daw trying to get a long-range shot here is Hello just going to go ahead and try and heal back up, but they're still just on the outside of the zone.
Oh, and the health is ticking down
Woo!
just a bit. Ooh.
Close.
And yeah, I was knocked outside of the safe zone.
Yeah.
Hello, not able to get the heal in time.
Here
Just
comes Just Arm.
also dropped. He looks for the cleanup. Not able to find that kill tag at the end, though. And now we're getting down to the final 13 members. Zone 6, just outside of the house.
So Fury Rose just got eliminated there as Just Arm came up and cleaned up the final member. Like you mentioned, 13 players remaining. I think the house that we mentioned Arov having in the center is actually just on the outside of this next play zone. So they have to move out at some point. And this is going to drive them crazy. You can see Small Boy, it looks like he's just on the circle. So there is a possibility they can hide that. But again, you don't know who has explosive.
And look at that. Fnatic is still sitting at a full 8 stack. Arov doing the exact same thing. Somehow, Gao Lamrong is still surviving outside of the zone.
I think at this point they threw everything onto Lam.
Yeah, try to go for the med stat. Try to outlast Fnatic and Arov, but on the other side of the tree, Boy is just constantly taking pot shots. Gao has got to be sweating bullets.
Yeah, Small Boy has had really good shots the last couple of weeks. It's not out of the question for him to be landing these, so it's nice to see them still hold on down. Arov, this is one of our, again, General C teams that we don't expect to really pop off, but they've had some good performances, especially from Small Boy in the last couple of weeks. 11 members alive on the map. Gao is still on the outside of this zone. It's starting to close on in, and that's going to start hurting. Still about 3 minutes until you actually can get that second place with the med strat. But it looks like Arov, they have to deal with this squad that's now starting to push their way in onto the complex.
Yeah, Fnatic wants Arov outside of this building. They're continuing to hug the terrain, but the zone is getting narrower and narrower.
Situation actually here. Honestly, I don't know how Arov takes back this hill, as Fnatic have been a team to show that they actually, once they have the high ground, they can defend it very well. This would be a nice start for Fnatic too at the start of the week. Gao still just med-stratting outside the zone. 3 members. We're looking at possibly now our top 5 teams.
Yeah.
But this is mainly the fight for first place between Arov and Fnatic.
It really speaks to the discipline of the players that they join the organization and suddenly they're able to hold the kill. They're able to hold the high ground and not push it up. Constant nades are raining down on them, but they still know they've got the superior position here. And Arov are running out of time as the zone is going to push them out of this building.
We'll have to see. Small Boy also over toward the side. The Daw is also there. Keeping an eye here on Arov. This is the issue now when you're dealing with third-person views, is once you're on that hill, they don't have to peek on over at that point. They don't have to expose any of their body to get shot here from Arov. They're just going to wait for this circle to close on in and chintz them on down. Oh, the Daw gets shot up there. Small Boy's able to survive, but you can see he's panicking. He's just trying to get into that safety of that middle compound like I mentioned earlier, but the circle is going to close in soon in about 20 seconds.
And somehow no knocks on either side. The two are trading bullets, but they are still standing. Fnatic, they're going to have to push over this hill into the courtyard below.
Oh.
And Iron Pro is sitting on top of that high ground. It's an easy hop for him if he just wants to sit there and continue to Hawkeye, to Eagle Eye over at Fnatic.
So I've now actually seen this next zone. This is ugly for both sides, pretty much. This is now just outside the building, but on the slant of the hill. So really no one's going to have cover. I got to actually give this one to Arov because they can actually look to stall this one out. Both teams, it's honestly whoever's going to move first will actually be the team that might lose out in this situation.
And this is where we look at patience. This is where we look at discipline. Can you hold your calm under this pressure as the zone is starting to tick in? Iron Pro starting to move forward. Somehow Flux is able to get himself down into the courtyard. Iboy trying to flush him out. Can he get Flux out of there? Even the Daw has been able to push down the hill. It's only Arn and Vortex up on the top side, but they're making their way down as well.
Small Boy keeps his vision onto Vortex. 2 shots are going to go ahead and land. Small Boy's going to get the shot on down. Fnatic are down 1 member. This might be the cue here for Arov to actually move their way on in, because guess what? The zone is coming on down. Fnatic, they have to move. You already have the bandages coming on out. Vortex going to get taken on down to the zone. You see Fnatic, it looks like they're panicking at this point. They're trying to make everything happen. Arov, they've now actually got themselves into this one corner, and Fnatic, this is not good.
Boyka gets flushed out of the garage. Arov starting to push forward. Managed to get down the Daw. Small Boy continuing to clean up. 3 kills so far.
My goodness.
And meanwhile, Aaron will finally get Small Boy down, but he even decides to go for the kill. Doesn't want to take any chances. 5 members left.
They're just going to rush him.
Pushing up onto 1. Can they get the final kill? Aaron still dancing about.
Iron Pro going to try what he can. He needs to land these shots. These shots are not going to land. Aaron has the opportunity to 2v1 at this point. He already took down the other member. It's a 1v1. One person's going to walk away from this fight. Victor. The other team's going to be second on place. Fnatic, A-Rob, Aaron, Iron Pro. Who's going to do what? Firecracker comes out to the side.
Ground.
He needs to go to the right onto Aaron. Aaron is going to peek on toward that side of the corner. Throwing it back, though.
Aaron still holding on. They're on the opposite sides of this building. Look at Aaron. He's calm. He's patient. He knows he's got Iron Pro in a bad position, but he's got the door in front of him. Aaron playing the slow game. Constant grenades are firing back across. Can he get Iron Pro out of position? He's at low health. The 1 versus 1. But remember, there's still another man
Aaron's just
down.
going to go for it.
Forward. He gets the cleanup. Aaron waits for the opportune moment, and he strikes like lightning.
And that was probably our most chaotic final circle. Legitimately, no one was med-stratting outside the zone. One shot, one kill, and that's all it took. Aaron able to pull off a 2v1 at the very end there and also secure his team 3 kills, the team as a whole sitting at 8. A-Rob coming in second place. Number 1 having a decent finish as well at 3rd place there. So
I just woke up in my underwear, no liquor left on the shelf. I should probably introduce myself. You should have seen what I wore. I had a cane and a party hat. I was the king of this hologram where there's no such thing as getting out of hand. Memories tend to just pop up. Drunk pre-meds and some rubber gloves. 5,000 people with designer drugs. Don't think I'll ever get enough.